Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Hands On Experience podcast, where I will be hands on coaching you, teaching you, educating you on leadership development, career transitions, and accountability, which you need to have in both those areas as a leader. And if you're trying to grow in your career or you changing careers, accountability is very important. But today, that's what we're going to talk about. That's what I'm going to discuss is personal accountability, right? And what is that? It's a process of creating yourself. Okay, no matter what you're doing, no matter what your job is, what your career is, what you're doing in life, it's a process of creating yourself, of who you want to be and how you want society to see you. So, within personal accountability, it's about renting or owning your life. A lot of people think they don't have control over their life and what's going on in their life, and that is not true. You have absolutely 100% total control over what goes on in your life. But when it comes to renting versus owning your life, when you own it, you have to own the good, the challenges, and everything in between. When you own all those things, you're able to control it. You're taking responsibility for that. So you can own your life and how it goes and the direction that it goes. But when you're renting your life, you have the mindset that says, it's mine, but not really, right? It's mine, but not really. Okay, and that's when you are hesitant to really go after your passions in life. When you're hesitant to try to move up in your job, to be a better leader, no matter what it is. When you don't think you have control of your life and you have a renting mindset, you feel like it's not really my life, and that's not true. It's far from it. When you own what you desire in life, personally and professionally, then you are able to evolve with clarity. Okay, when you own it, you can see the picture a lot clearer. But again, it comes back to taking responsibility for the good, the bad, the challenges, and everything in between, right? So, when it comes to personal accountability, you have to build a personal brand. It's not about any kind of products or apparel. It's about you. You have a personal brand, whether you know it or not. And it's your own personal slogan. You are your slogan. Okay. And if you don't think you have one, if you don't think you have a brand, you do. You have a brand. Your brand is what people think of you, regardless of whether you agree or not. It's how they see you. Okay. It's what people are saying about you when you're not around. That's what your personal brand is. All right. It's your character, your work ethic, And the great thing about that is it's yours to create, right? See, what you do or don't do is what people are going to say behind your back. So if you're professional and you work hard, you got great character, that's what they're going to talk about when you're not around. If it's the opposite, they're going to say the opposite when you're not around. So your personal brand is yours to create, and you have to make sure you're doing the right things to create it. And it all comes down to how you see yourself, right? You see yourself as a $30,000 person, $60,000 person, $100,000 person, or maybe even a $1 million person. How you see it is how it will be. And here's the thing. Here's the great thing. If you don't like it, you can change it. Again, you are in control of your personal brand and your personal accountability. So if you don't like how you see yourself, you can change it. And here's another thing. When changed, you think different. You dress different. You hang with different people. And the visualization of yourself has become real to you. So it's important how you see yourself, okay? How do you see yourself? That's the question you got to look in the mirror and ask yourself to start making the changes you need to make, right? It will drive your relationships, your life, the car and house you have, okay? Everyday self presentation will dictate your future employer or not. So when you step out of the house, when you step out of the apartment, when you step out anywhere, you're immediately live. You don't know who's watching, especially with social media today and all the camera phones. You never know who's watching you. So your self presentation will dictate your future employer or not. If you dress professionally, and that's not always mean a coat and tie, but just dressing respectfully and neatly, all right? Because you never know, again, you never know who's watching. Someone may be watching you because they have their eye on you to work for their company or to work with them or to partner with you. So they may be watching you, or they may have someone else watching you, and you never know it, right? Again, the way you dress, the way you talk, act, and who you hang out with will tell your story. A lot of people don't realize that. Who your circle is will tell a big story about who you're about, what you're about, and what your future is going to be about. So how you dress, talk, and act, and who you hang out with is a big indicator about you as a person, and it tells a big story of who you are. And what kind of image do you want to project? That's the whole thing. That's what you have to think about. What kind of image do you want to project? What kind of people do you want to draw to you, that you want to be attracted to you, follow you, want to engage you to see what you're about, right? That's what you have to understand, okay? But you know what? One of the most important things is knowing how to manage your brand. That personal brand that you have, that you probably don't think you have to know how to manage it, all right? And so how do you manage it? The first thing you got to do is you have to define your aspirations. What do you aspire to do? You have to set small, manageable goals, objectives, but you have to define your aspiration. What are you trying to be about, right? And you got to conduct research. Whatever it is, whatever the goals you have, or whatever you aspire to be, conduct some research on the people that have been successful in what it is you want to do, right? You got Google, you got the internet, so you can find out a lot of things about successful people, but also people that you may know. Reach out to them, or somebody that you can get to connect you with someone that's successful in the area or what you aspire to be, right? But you have to determine your brand, your attributes, what makes you unique. What value or skill do you have to offer society that will separate you from someone else? That's how you have to determine your brand. And let me say that again, it's your attributes. It's what makes you unique. Your value, skill, and what you have to offer society that will separate you from someone else. We live in a competitive world, so you have to have something that separates you from someone else when you're trying to accomplish the goals that you're trying to accomplish, or trying to connect to the certain people that you want to connect to. Because being able to connect to someone, you don't have a lot of time. It's seconds that you had to be able to connect with someone and make a big presence on them, okay? And you have to assess your current state. This is very important. When managing your brand, you have to assess your current state. What does that mean? That means you have to do a self-check. Look in that mirror. All right? How are you perceived? How are you perceived? When you look in that mirror and you think about the different people that you're connected to, the different people you're around, whether it's friends, family, co-workers, any associates, how do they perceive you, right? You have to assess that to see what people see in you or don't see in you that you need to change. Then when managing your brand, you have to create a game plan, right? Create a game plan. Life is like sports a lot of times, And one thing I always tell people, sports is the greatest metaphor to teaching life lessons. So in life, you have to spit it out, Reg. Create a game plan. I can't talk today. But you have to create a game plan when managing your brand. So that comes down to your attire, your behavior, nonverbal, verbal communication. You have to create an aura and light up the room. Anytime you walk into a room, I always say, don't test the temperature, be the thermometer. Okay, when you walk into a room, be the thermometer. Okay, create an aura. When you walk in that room lights up and they know you're there with your presence, with your smile, with your energy. You know, you have to learn to manipulate your energy, all right, to where it rubs off on other people that you're around. Okay, so that's creating a game plan for managing your brand. All right. The other thing is so important in managing your brand is networking, right? It's important to attend social and community events. Be out there, be involved, be seen, be active, right? Help. Offer your services in any way you can. Let them know they can contact you if they need something or need you to help do something in your community and that social events. Participation is 85 to 90%. Participation is 85 to 90% of life. Participation in life, 85 to 90% is just showing up, right? And a lot of times when something's going on in your community, just being there, having a presence there for people to touch you and talk to you is very important. But you got to make connections. You don't be the best kept secret because everyone has a gift. Everyone has a gift. You have a gift, right? So don't be a kept secret. Get out, make connections, network so people can know who you are, what you're about, and what you're trying to do, and how you can add value to them more so than they can add value to you. All right? And get around people that are at the destination you're trying to get to. All right? When networking. Find out where those people are. Rub shoulders with them. Let them get to know you. Okay? This next one, social media. Man, it can make you big or can ruin you. How are you using it? Are you using it positively or are you using it negatively? All right? Understand this about social media. It's forever. So proceed with caution because it can throw you a big curve ball. I'll give you an example. Let's say you went in for an interview for a job. Interview goes great. You have all the qualifications. They love you, love everything about you and what you're presenting to them in that interview. And it could be on the second or third interview. But then they do the social media investigation, like all companies do these days. And they go through your social media. Say 10 years ago, you put something out there that's very bad or very negative. It don't have to be very bad, but it can be very negative from an image standpoint. Well, you know what? Even after the second or third interview, they're going to say, hey, we love your potential. We love what you're about, but now is not the right time. We're going to go in another direction. And you're never going to know. You're never going to know that it was a social media post you put out 10 years ago that kept you from getting that job. So you got to watch those type of curveballs and use social media the right way. Use social media to show light and a positive light on you and what you're trying to do and how you're trying to add value to people. And all your profiles on your social media should look similar to the real in-person you, right? So many people put things on their social media that is not them, whether it's material things, whether it's what they're doing, where they at, where they're going. That's not true. You can't do that. All your social media profiles has to be as close to the real you as it possibly can. All right. Who you connected to on your social media, who you're following and who's following you. Now, I know a lot of times you can't control who's following you, right? But who you're following and who you're connecting with on your social media is very important too. So you want to make sure that you want to have a positive network of people you're connected to on all your social media platforms, right? And following positive, uplifting people, even following funny things happy things, motivational things. It's very important, right? Um, the next thing with personal accountability is authority, right? There's positional authority and then there's personal authority. And the one you want to have is personal authority. But I'm going to start with positional authority first. So, what is positional authority? Um, with there's a lot of people out there with positional authority. A lot of people in leadership positions with positional authority. And it's a fear based mindset focused on the politics, the position, and the power. They don't care about the people. Their goals shift from serving others to maintaining the position and climbing the ladder. So that's all they've cared about. Is staying in the position they are and climbing the ladder. Don't care who they have to step on to get there. That's what they're about. And positional authority is short term. Those are short term results. So you don't want positional authority. You want personal authority. Okay? And what personal authority does is it helps you continue to move the needle in anything you're trying to do in life, no matter what it is. With personal authority, you have trust and you have earned the right to speak into someone's life. You have earned that much respect to where someone will allow you to speak into their life and give them advice on what they should do with certain situations in their life. Personal authority helps you create loyalty and a deep connection to your vision and your values, right? Because you're being real with yourself. So you're going to be real with other people so they can know what you're about, know what your vision is, know what your values are, right? And you generally care about people at the same level or below you. So no matter what position you're in, you could be the top leader, top manager, but you care about those people on the same level or under you, especially the people that are under you. You let them know that you're all on the same team. Don't make them feel like that you're above them. Let them know that you can get grimy with them as well. Okay. The other thing with personal authority is you have to know what you're talking about. Um, to speak into other people's life and have personal authority and to gain the respect. You have to know what you're talking about when you're talking to the people that you're working with. Anything that you're connecting with people to. You have to know what you're talking about, and you have to respect other people's knowledge and input. It can't be all about what you want and think. You give what you want, you give what you think, you let them know, and then you ask them, okay, tell me what you think. Give me some input on this, all right? I need some ideas. I need some different ways to look at it. That helps you develop personal authority and a major, major level of respect, okay? So now, how do you develop personal authority? How do you develop it? How do you develop personal authority? First, it's hard work in the trenches. You got to get grimy, get down dirty, and get in the trenches with whoever it is you're working with, whoever it is you're doing something with. Like I said, it doesn't matter whether it's on the job or something you're doing in your personal life. Hard work in the trenches with people that you're doing something with or trying to accomplish goals with. It can't be you up there and them down there working. You got to work in the trenches with them. And again, you got to have expertise in your craft. What it is you're doing, have expertise in it. Do your homework, do your research, study, take classes, get educated, get coached to help you with expertise in your craft. And the other thing is learning new things. Learn new things that you can share with the people to help them as well, right? And you got to reflect on your work and then practice it over and over and over again. Right? You got to take that time to reflect on what you're doing. See what it is you need to get better at. There may be some things that you may need to take out and stop doing. But you got to practice over and over and over and over again. And that's what helps you gain the expertise that you need. And the other one is growing through suffering. This is huge in developing personal authority. It's growing through suffering. You got to take all those challenges and those setbacks, and you got to look at them as learning lessons. You know, You can't look at it as, oh man, there's just there's no chance. I'm done. This is it. I gotta do something else. No, no, no. That's not how it works. You gotta take those lessons, take that suffering, and figure out what it's about. Figure out what went wrong or what's going wrong. All right. Then flip the switch and change it. Okay. That's how you grow through it. Learn from it. All right. Circumstance do not determine happiness or success. Okay. So you can have those times. All right. But it's what you do with them and how you grow from them is what's going to determine your happiness and your success. All right. This other one is a big key for personal authority. Um, Having compassionate love for others. This is a big key. People got to know. People got to know that you really care about them. Whoever you're dealing with and working with, they need to feel and know and understand it. You know, this person really cares about me and what I'm doing, what I'm going through, or what I'm trying to do. Right? And one thing that I always say, and I always talk about, is your mind must be stronger than your emotions. Right? You have to be able to embrace your emotions in order to control them. And then now you can do with them what you want. Okay? So embrace your emotions. Let your mind be stronger than your emotions. Right? Okay, so the next part of building your personal accountability is self discipline. And this is one thing that so many people lack is why they can't be successful, why they can't accomplish the goals that they have. Is they don't have the self discipline to stick with it, right? Self discipline requires a day to day practice and repetition with whatever you're trying to do. It has to become habit. And the only way it becomes habit is day to day practice and repetition. And when you develop self discipline, you live a freer life to make constructive, not emotional decisions. See, when you don't have discipline and something doesn't go right, you immediately, your emotions immediately kick in, all right, and go into effect. And you're like, oh man, what's going on? What do I need to do? And you're scattering, and your emotions got you going everywhere and not knowing what to do. Okay, so when you have discipline, your emotions won't come into play. Constructive thoughts will come into play when things are not going right, right? Because you have built that habit. Okay, understand this: motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. All right, motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. Okay, so how do you gain self-discipline? Well, you got to remove all temptation. You get up in the morning, you develop a routine. I'll tell you what I do every morning with my routine. I get up, me and my fiance, we pray. That's the first thing we do. Then we go do the normal brush your teeth, wash your face type of thing. Then I'll stretch. We'll both drink some fresh lemon water. Then we go for our workouts. Sometimes we walk together, but most of the time it's a different. We work out separately, but we usually go at the same time. She goes for a walk through the neighborhood, and I either go for a run, walk. I do a jump rope exercise routine, or I mean go to the gym. But that's our routine. Now, once I get back home, I cool down, drink some more water. Then I'll get my Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I love Dunkin'. If you follow me on any of my social medias, you'll know that. But I'll get my coffee and I'll sit down and I will figure out what I'm going to do with my social media that day. The post I'm going to do on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'll figure out what my posts are going to be. And I'll go through and, do my post, create my post. And I'll schedule them to post at different times. And I'll respond to comments on my different posts. So that's what I do at that point. After that, then, because that's a cool down time for me. I'm cooling down for my workout. So that's what I do during a cool down time. And then after that, I go into my work day, in terms of checking emails and seeing what I have on my calendar. I fill out my calendar for the next day the night before so I can know what I'm doing each day. Right? So now, when it comes to, like I said, removing all temptation, Now, if I get up and there's just something else pops up, right? Something that's just I don't necessarily need to do. Maybe somebody call me and say, "Hey, let's go do something," or "Let's go." I don't know. I can't allow the temptation to keep me from staying with my routine. I have to do my routine every morning. It helps me stay focused and on schedule with my day. So I can't let any temptation throw me off schedule, throw me off my routine. But the other way to gain self discipline is you can't wait till something feels right. Right? You have to be consistently putting yourself in uncomfortable situations and positive uncomfortable situations, meaning doing something that you haven't done before to grow, no matter what it is. Putting yourself in a position to learn, to do something new, to do something different that you haven't done before. You can't wait till something feels right before you say, okay, now I want to do it. It's too late. You've lost time. And you all, as you all know, you can't get time back. Each second that goes by is gone and you can never get it back, right? And you must embrace the change in order to correct it. Whatever the change is, whatever something you're trying to do differently that's uncomfortable, you have to embrace it. If you don't embrace it, it's not going to change, right? So you have to embrace the change in order to correct it, right? And here's the thing that a lot of people don't do is you have to give yourself rewards at certain levels of your process. All right? People don't understand the difference between learning and failure. Okay? When you have setbacks, it's learning, it's not failure. Failure is when you quit. All right? When you have a setback and you quit, yeah, you failed. When you have a setback and you grind and you learn, okay, and you figured out why, that's learning, okay? But when you go through the process and you get to those different levels of what you're trying to accomplish, each level that you accomplish, give yourself a reward. It's okay. It could be a day off from doing something. It could be doing something fun. It could be, you know, buying something. It doesn't need to be nothing expensive. It's something maybe you've wanted for a long time that you just say, hey, I'm gonna wait. So give yourself rewards. That helps you to gain self discipline. It keeps you motivated. Okay, stay positive and laugh. There's so many times you're gonna make mistakes, or you're gonna do something, and you're gonna be like, dang, laugh it off. Laugh it off because it happens. You're not perfect. You're a human being. You're going to make mistakes. Things are not going to always go right. So sometimes you just got to laugh it off. Keep a positive mindset, and keep the bus moving, right? Keep the bus moving. The other thing to self, I mean, not self discipline, but the other thing with building your personal accountability is self respect and self confidence. Okay? Now, self respect leads to self confidence, and it requires a day to day love to yourself. You have to love you. If you don't have it, you won't get it, right? If you don't love yourself, it's impossible for anyone else to love you. Impossible. Believe that. All right? So in order to gain self-respect and get to self-confidence, it requires a day-to-day love to yourself. Now, how do you do that? How do you build a day-to-day love to yourself? Well, first you have to develop a self-image. All right? Develop a self-image. Figure out who you are. You're not your friend. You're not your family. Don't try to be anyone else. Figure out who you are. All right? And understand what your self-image is. And be proud of your self-image. Okay? As long as you're a good person that's trying to do good things, believe in your self-image. Right? And when you develop a great self-image, then you're going to develop self-esteem. Okay? When you develop that self-image that you believe in, that's going to help you develop self-esteem. And when you develop self-esteem, that's going to lead you to developing self-confidence. Okay? So you got to go from self-image to self-esteem to self-confidence. All right? You got to have that self-confidence in your personal accountability, because if people see you and they're working with you or they're talking to you and they see you lack confidence, they're not going to really want to work with you, right? If you're trying to really work on something together, because if you don't believe in what you're saying, then there's no way they're going to believe in what you're saying. So you got to have self-confidence and belief in yourself when you're talking to people, no matter what it is, right? All right. So now, how do you gain self-respect and self-confidence? Well, you have to determine your value or your values and have a vision for them. You got to determine what your values are. And then for your values, you got to have a vision for each value of how you want it to be. What is your priority? What is your priority? And your priority is an area of immediate positive impact on life. Like, what do you have or what can you do that can have an immediate impact on life, a positive impact on life that can help someone else? That's your priority. Okay, that's what you have to figure out. And then you have to put it into action, right? Put it into action and be accountable to yourself. Whatever your priority is, put it into action and be accountable to yourself. Hold yourself accountable, all right, with that priority, okay? And this is one thing that hurts so many people as well is you can't listen to negative thoughts in your head. You got to expect setbacks. And sometimes the negative thoughts in our heads are not really happening or won't happen because it's usually negative thoughts are things that we think are going to happen in the future, right? Not even happened yet. So you can't think and allow negative thoughts to control you. You can't listen to them, all right? You have to develop a system. When a negative thought jumps into your mind, you have to have a filter to get it out. Okay, that's what you have to do. Create a filter to throw out negative thoughts when they come into your head, because all it is a thought. It's not happening. It's not happening. And most cases, it's not going to happen, right? So don't listen to negative thoughts in your head, okay? Listen and read something positive every day, every morning. I read something positive. That's part of my routine. I read something positive each and every day, every morning. And a lot of times, because I put out so many positive messages, there's a lot of times I'll sit back and I'll listen to my own positive messages for about 5 or 10 minutes. And it really puts me in a great mindset and a great space to have a great day. But you have to listen to, positive things, read positive things, because here's the thing. We all have limited mind space. We have a limited mind space. And we have to make sure with the things that we put in our mind, it's going to be productive, all right? And it's going to help us and not hold us back, okay? All right, so the next thing with developing and growing your own personal accountability is, well, first of all, I want to say this. When it comes to your personal accountability and your brand, your personal brand, it's going to determine your marketability. It's going to determine your employee benefits. It's going to determine your job satisfaction. And it's going to determine your stability. So it's very important that you develop personal accountability within your personal brand. Okay? Because it's going to definitely determine those three things. Okay? Motivation. Okay, motivation. A lot of people talk about motivation. I'm motivated, but people lose motivation after whatever they're trying to do, after it starts, right? And after they get going, they lose motivation. So let's talk about motivation for a minute. Motivation is not the key to a successful formula. Discipline is. And that's what I just talked about. Motivation just gets you started. You're excited about the new job. You're excited about the new opportunity. You're excited about the new business. Okay? But you're going to have ups and downs, peaks and valleys. So the motivation only gets you started. The discipline is what keeps you going. Okay? And here's the other thing now. Winners don't need motivation. They need discipline. If you're a winner, you don't need to be motivated. If you're doing something you love, you're doing something that you're passionate about, you need discipline, not motivation. Okay? And discipline is about getting it done because it needs to get done. Not because you're motivated for it, but because you made a commitment to do it. Right? Let me say that one more time. Discipline is about getting it done because it needs to get done, not because you're motivated for it, but because you made a commitment to do it. That's what discipline is about. You made a commitment to at that new job. You made a commitment at starting that business. You made a commitment to changing yourself, right? So that's what discipline is. Staying with that commitment you made to yourself, right? So be careful with the decisions you make because once made, you have to see them through. That's discipline. Once you make a decision, you have to see it through. You have to commit to it. Okay? So be careful about the decisions you make and make sure it's something that you know you can commit to. All right? First you make the decision, then the decision makes you. I'm going to say that one more time. First you make the decision, and then the decision makes you. Think about it. Think about it. All right, so now I want to finish this up with talking about the next level. Because so many people want to get to that next level of life, that next level of their job, no matter what it is. They want to get to that next level. Everybody talks about that next level. Let me get to that next level. Okay? Because here's the thing. You can never be okay with where you are. You can never be okay with where you are because you won't learn. You won't progress. If you're okay with where you are, the only way you have to go is backwards. All right? So when you're not okay with where you are, you have an inquisitive mind to go after that next level and then that next level and wondering what it is. See, I always wanted to see what was at that next level. And when I got there, I started thinking, okay, but what's on the next level? What's there? See, I'm trying to be great. So I got to always be conscious, not conscious. I always got to be, conscious about what's at the next level. But I have to do the job at the level I'm at first. I have to be successful and complete the level that I'm at currently. In the back of my mind, wondering what's at that next level after I complete this level. You have to constantly have that type of mindset. You must be consistently good to be great. You know, everybody wants to be great. Everybody wants to be great. You must be consistently good to be great. But what does it look like? What does being great look like? It looks like being consistently good every single day. All right? Being consistently good every single day. Okay? That's it for this show. I thank you for listening and watching the Hands-On Experience podcast show. I'll be on vacation next week, but I'm gonna try to record a show before I go if I can for next week. But if not, I will definitely let you know. Have a great day, and like I always say, I hope that all of my shows, my podcasts on the Hands-On Experience gives you value and gives you something you can take away and use in your personal life, your career, your business, your company, that you can share with others, right? Again, I'm always going to say, I'm not hard to find, okay? You can reach me on my email at reggie.hanson@hansoncoaching.com. You can go to my website at hansoncoaching.com and set up a consultation, set up a phone call with me, all right? I'm here to help. I'm here to coach you on any and everything that you need coached on, from a leadership perspective, from growing in your career, from changing your career, from creating the accountability you need in all those areas. Okay? So until next time, be careful, be safe, and keep grinding. All right?